foremost, as always, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash.
We want to give double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and who teach the 100% truth, because that's especially important in these last days, because a lot of your camp leaders are leading you young men astray, you young Israelite men, okay, on important issues like the mark of the beast, the destruction, and so on and so forth, okay? And if you don't have the proper knowledge, okay, those nuclear missiles are going to get you, man, because a lot of you guys are going to take that chip. All right, so we're going to get into Hosea 4 and 6, and then we'll get a couple of scriptures on the missiles, man.
This is Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Right, for lack of knowledge, man. You know, and that goes a lot deeper than just the people in those that are in the world, man. A lot of you guys have been introduced to this truth, and you're lukewarm. Okay, you're not in the cold territory, man. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
That's right. He's also going to reject you. Okay, it's talking about the Most High, man. He's going to reject you. Okay, because you haven't been following the proper doctrine sincerely. Okay, the doctrine is very important, man. You know, it's what separates the men from the boys, because these other camps, what they do is they use a lot of gimmicks. You know, like a lot of hip hop stuff. You know, and you got all these camps coming out with the showing off their gun collections in their videos and that. Okay, but that's not going to save you. Okay, that can't save you from a nuclear missile, because that's what's coming soon, man. You know, you got this election coming up, and who really knows who's going to win? But if the way that Trump was talking in that last debate is if he wins this election, man, it's looking like he's going to go after China. You know, and then you have Russia and China trying to form more of a closer military alliance. Well, all this is going on, man. So World War III is at the doorstep, okay? That's another thing that they're not teaching you about, man. You know, they want you to, like House of Israel, HOI, they want you to build your own communities and all that shit, and buying out land, okay?
Nate wants people to be given in marriage.
Right, Nate wants people to be given in marriage, man. Okay? If you want, Slack, I know we got to get into missiles, but if you want to get 1 Thessalonians 5, okay, those guys are asleep. They're not paying attention to what's going on in these last days, man. Making your own little community out in the middle of nowhere, okay, especially here in Babylon, is not going to save you when the missiles rain down, man. You know, there's only one way out, and that's through them chariots, okay? Or being a martyr.
That's right.
It's the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and of the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you.
Right. We have no need, because we know the times and seasons, man. You know, brothers might have, you know, slight disagreements on how it's going to go or timelines or anything, but we're all in the same spirit, in the fact that we know that Yahweh Shai has got to be the one to deliver us out of here, man. You know, but you guys aren't teaching that, man. And with Israel getting this massive awakening in the mainstream in these last days, it's going to be important to separate everybody, because Yahweh Shai said he's coming to bring what? The vision, man. You know?
For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night.
As a thief in the night. You never know when. You know? I mean, civil war could break out next week. Next week is the election. Civil war in this country could break out next week. And the response could be hard martial law, man. Hard lockdowns. Especially if this COVID gets an outbreak, man. There was somebody that leaked out recently, and you know, I don't like to get into rumors like that, but he was saying that COVID is just a warm-up, and that next year they're going to introduce a crazy-ass virus that's going to make COVID-19 look like a walk in the park, and they're going to use that as a reason to do permanent lockdowns, man.
For when they shall say peace and safety, Then sudden destruction comes upon them as travail upon the woman with child, and they shall not escape.
They're not going to escape, man. You know, planning these weddings and having all these music videos and that, but they're missing out on what matters, the core issues, man. All right, the core issues responsible for salvation. That's what separates Great Millstone from everybody else. And you have other camps out there that are teaching, you know, coming in the same spirit, like Men of Valor and DTA and so on and so forth. Okay, it's not just about Great Millstone, but you know, at Pal Sahara on down, that's the order that was set up. I mean, it's as clear as day now. Okay, all the guys that they said were fakes and phonies and sellouts, you're starting to know them by their fruits.
Because ISUPK and IUIC looking real foolish right now, and they're not paying attention to prophecy. They're not paying attention to Jacob's trouble. They're not showing no kind of concern for the mandatory vaccinations. They're not showing no concern for the microchip. They're not showing no concern for World War III. They're not bringing out warning the flock and warning the people or blowing the trumpet. Dumb dogs.
Yep. Dumb dogs, man. It's well, hey, we're excited during this time, man. You know, we're excited during this time. Okay? Because our head ain't in the sand, so to speak. You know?
Say, but you brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief.
No, we're not in darkness, man. You know, we're not in darkness. You know, guys say, well, you guys are camp banging and all that shit. But really, we're doing so many shows these days, we're covering pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So you can't say that we're just camp banging, man. Brothers are doing shows on the chariots, on the prophecy, martial law, nuclear missiles, chaos, economic collapse, the chip. You know?
It's hundreds of videos going up a week.
A day.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, a day. Shit.
You go to the subscriptions page now, you know, if you're subscribed to a lot of channels, you just keep scrolling. And you just keep scrolling, and you just keep scrolling. And then the videos are still posted only 3 hours ago. You know? It's just constant edification getting put up, man. Constant. Okay? But hey, it's the time when it talks about in Daniel 12 where it says knowledge shall be increased. Okay, everybody's learning so much more faster, man, because the time is short. You know, these young brothers, they ain't got 5-10 years to learn the truth. They got to get it all now. You know, they got to absorb that into their head and build their faith up quicker than we did, man. They don't have time for all the bullshit and time to get right.
Yeah, because right now is the time to be obsessed with the truth. Watch as many videos as you possibly can. Get as much reading in as you possibly can. Get as much praying and repenting as you possibly can. Because the times is coming where shit, what's done is done and what's said is said. You know, and you don't want to get to that point of time to be like, damn, I wish I would have read more. Damn, I wish I would have watched more videos. Or damn, I wish I would have prayed and repented more or examined myself more. Because right now is the time.
Well, hey, the scriptures talk about being blameless. You know, you want to be blameless during that time because, hey, we all know, man, you know, your conscience can make you feel guilty as hell.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
You know?
And your conscience is what's going to convict you when the time of judgment comes. Because your conscience know if you did what you needed to do at the end of the day. You know? But this is Jeremiah. Chapter 49. Chapter 49, verse 16. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Right, and it's spiritual. Those that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, man. You know, that's talking about the Edomites. It's spiritual, man, because whenever we bring out a scripture about a unruly black woman or a Moabite or a caveman, you You know, the Most High gives us a visual sign. You know, we just had a couple cavemen running across wearing shorts and it's fucking 40 degrees out. Okay? But hey, in fact, read that again, but
Thy terribleness hath deceived thee in the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
right, because these Edomites, they're at a high right now, man. What do they call them? The silent majority. These Edomites are starting to push back and get their pride back. You know, in these last days. Okay.
Shalom.
And
Shalom.
especially if Mr. Donald Trump gets back in, you know, their pride's gonna be going up, man. There's gonna be a number of racial incidences. You know, they're gonna think that this place is gonna get a second wind. Okay, which it's not, because the scriptures say we would have healed Babylon. If you want to get that after that, but she would not be healed. Was it Jeremiah 51?
That holdest the heights of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord.
Right, and an eagle is a very high-flying bird. And when you look at Edomite powers throughout history, what was their symbol? Their symbol was always the eagle, man. The Holy Roman Empire, the Greeks, the Romans, and now America, man. I believe at one time even the British Empire used the eagle as its bird. Okay? Now, you brothers can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what that's according to my knowledge. Okay, I could have been mistaking that for France or something.
Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. Right? Shall hiss at all the plagues thereof, man. Because when this place gets destroyed and this place gets brought down,
Can you use that? Yeah, I got it.
you know, when this place gets brought down, man, all right, it's going to be an example for people. It's going to be like a history museum, so to speak, of destruction. You know, kind of like how Sodom and Gomorrah is today with the salt pillars and all that. You know, it's going to be a spiritual symbol.
I got a precept off the comment board. This is Sons of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai. This is Ezekiel 36:5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land unto their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with the despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
Yep. You heard him cast it out for a prey. Because soon, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is going to be a prey along with these other heathen nations, because the nation of Israel has been a prey for hundreds of years, for centuries. You know? And our time is almost up. Our time of getting a foot up our ass is almost over with.
Here it tells you in Lamentations, the 4th chapter, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
As in the overthrow and the spiritual, because you know he just brought up Sodom and Gomorrah, on how Sodom and Gomorrah is like a history display on what not to do. Salt pillars, you got radiation to this day still seeping from the soil. People still can't dwell there, and if they do try to dwell there, they'll get sick. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall the Son of Man dwell in it.
That's right. Ain't nobody gonna dwell in it, man. And that's pretty much repeated in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter. Okay, nobody's ever gonna dwell there except for unclean animals, or dwell here except for unclean animals, man. Unclean birds, so on and so forth, lizards, and desert-like creatures.
And I'm gonna jump to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 13. because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wildly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and shall hiss at her plagues.
Now, how is that talking about ancient Babylon? Okay, how is that talking about ancient Babylon? You had a lot of these Christian pastors that thought that when Baghdad got bombed back in 2003, that was a fulfillment of that prophecy, man. They're sitting there with their American flags, but they didn't realize that it's the land that they're living on now. You know? Hey, Babylon, hey, Baghdad's still chilling, right? Yeah, it might have got bombed, but it's still chilling.
Right, might be ruins, but still people dwelling there.
Uh-huh.
Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her.
Right, and that bending the bow is getting the missiles ready, you know, putting them the coordinates in those computer systems, getting ready to push fire, getting the codes ready. Okay?
And hey, them coordinates is already set.
They are.
I just shared. Russia got the highest nuclear stockpile, and guess where they coordinates is aiming at? They coordinates is aiming at the United States of America.
All these countries got their coordinates all set, man. You know, it ain't easy just to change that kind of stuff on the fly, man.
Hell no.
You know?
Yeah, if you watch that movie Salt, it came out probably like, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. With Angelina Jolie, and she was a Russian spy in the movie. And at the end of the movie, they was trying to shoot the missiles off. But you know, Esau in his movies, they always hit the stop button to where the missiles don't get launched. But that's only in their fantasy Hollywood world, you know. In real life, in Bible prophecy, the missiles are going to be shot. All right.
That's right.
Yep. And guess what? With these with the Lord and the angels and the chariots, digital and electronic devices be having malfunctions. Misfires that they rockets launches, they misfires with the missiles. It's nothing for the angels to make the screen get blurry and missiles start getting shot off, and then other countries like, oh shit, such and such just shot off their missiles. Now they shooting off their missiles. Then the next person shoot off their missiles, and then another country like, you know what, fuck it, we all about to die. Then they shoot off their missiles.
They react, you know? That's what happens in war. Sometimes you don't think about what you're gonna do, you just react, you know?
Like, okay, we gotta die, y'all gotta die. Fuck it.
I got a precept. This is off the comment board, Sons of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Psalms 91:8. Only with thine eyes thou shalt behold and see the reward of the wicked. And this is Revelation chapter 6, verse 13 through 14. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
Right,
Yep.
so how is... Can vocab explain that scripture?
Right.
Can
The stars falling from heaven.
And
He
that-
won't be able to get that.
And the mountains and moving out of their place? You know? Can these Christians explain that? No, they can't, man, because them heavens departing like a scroll is talking about what? That mushroom cloud, man.
And there's multiple scripts speaking of mushroom clouds and destroying winds. All right. Spare no arrows. Salat. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. And you know, she giving her hand, she revealed herself. Like say if somebody playing cards or poker or whatever, yeah, man, he didn't gave his hand.
Someone get Isaiah 47.
He revealed his hand. Not everybody know what the deal is. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down.
So how is this talking about ancient Babylon? When did a mushroom cloud appear in the air when ancient Babylon was finally taken down by the Medo-Persian Empire. You know, your historical facts don't line up.
For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she had done, do unto her. Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. That's going on right now also with these farmers that do the sickle in the time of harvest. These harvests is pretty much went down under. They got to turn the crops back into the soil. They had to lay off workers. They had to kill cattle.
Well, the harvest is talking about the death, man. The harvest is ripe to gather all that judgment, man. You know, because a lot of bodies are going to be left behind in that, man. Burned up. You know, it's going to be like tearing down the wheat fields.
Vengeance upon her as she had done unto you, unto her. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one to his own land. And that time is coming to where you about to see a whole shitload of flights being booked, because these heathens is gonna see shit about to hit the fan, and they about to try to jump on every flight, every ship, and every form of transportation it is to get out of this country. But guess what? It's also gonna be too late, because they gonna lock the country down, because countries is already beginning to close their borders. And I heard recently that Americans are no longer welcome in Canada. I don't know how true that is, but I know that time is coming. And they also said that their internment camps, their concentration camps, will be ready by spring 2021. And now I'm gonna jump to verse 50 and 23. I'm gonna jump to verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
And that's America, the hammer of the whole earth. Because for the past 50 years or 60 years or so, America has been what? The world's police force. Okay, whenever there's a situation going on in international areas, America's always the one that's got to kind of be the so-called the decider.
Got to save the day.
Yeah, they got to save the day. Here he comes to save the day. Mighty fucking mouse, right?
Hey, also, if I can add, when you look at the nations who have the most bombings, it's America's on the top of the list. You know, so that explains why that also adds on to the point where America being the hammer of the earth.
Well, hey, what was it? The President Eisenhower, before he left office, right? He gave a warning in a nationwide address. He said that the military-industrial complex was taking over. Now you got these Edomites that act like that guy's a hero for mentioning it. Well, it was just a tongue falling upon themselves, man. You know, he gave the warning all those years ago that America was about to be the world police. And you had the CIA, okay, the CIA with all their PSYOPs and Black Ops projects. You know, they pretty much, it's been let out that the media is almost entirely controlled by the CIA.
Yeah. How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And another thing, right now in this time in history, this is probably the most disorder that the country of America has faced since ever on a nationwide scale, because there's protests in pretty much every state. It's rioting and looting in multiple states. There's disorder and uproars of the people in multiple states all over the place, not just in California or not just in New York, but throughout the whole entire country. There's disorder.
Well, hey, and some of that is because these governors and mayors, they won't back their police. You know, the police are pretty much being told to stand down and kind of let this shit happen, man. They're not allowed to use the force that they want to use, you know? But that's all done, man, because it's all done by design, because eventually they're going to allow them to use that lethal force, and it's going to catch everybody off guard. Okay?
And they gonna have a reason, and the reason they gonna put on the TV, they tired of the rioting, they tired of the looting, and of course they're gonna have supporters. You know, they're gonna have Edomite supporters. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord.
And this place has striven against the Lord, man.
And hey, what was that message that the top elites got? You are wanted. Was it they had said when they looked into the what's the name? You know how they had the what's the name from Babylon when they had got the message from the Lord that Jeremiah had said. Well, I believe the message was you are wanted or you are called or some shit like that.
Well, really, I mean, it's because of what happened to the children of Israel here.
Yeah, Chico. Yeah, I believe that was it.
It's really how the children of Israel, all right, has been oppressed here, man. Get Isaiah 47.
This is
because this place has polluted the inheritance of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man, and it's allowed all kind of wickedness, man. It's a land of witchcraft and sorcery and spells, and all them momos getting the rights.
This is Isaiah chapter 47. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Right, tender and delicate, man. You know, because America used to have this squeaky clean image. Okay, but now that all this information is out there, it's getting revealed. Keep going.
Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg.
Right, the undressing, the revealing of this place, man. You know, and as this place gets more and more revealed, there's less nations that use this U.S. dollar as their chief currency. Okay?
Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen.
Right, it doesn't have that goody two-shoe image that it used to have in the 1950s and the 1960s and the 1940s and so on and so forth, man. You know, a lot of its previous atrocities are being brought back to life these days, man. Especially what it did to the children of Israel. Keep reading, because that's going to get into that.
I will take vengeance. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
That's talking about Yahushua coming back, not as a man, but with his army of angels. Okay.
As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, meaning the Lord of armies is his name.
And he's the Redeemer. He's going to buy us back.
The Holy One of Israel, sit thou silence and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people.
Right, the Lord was wroth with his people, so he sent him here to what? To receive punishment, okay? But these Edomite slave owners, okay, they went a little too far, man. And then you continue to today. Our people are still oppressed. They're living in the poorest neighborhoods, all right? They got the worst water supplies, man. You know, it's hard for them to have continual employment, okay?
I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand.
That's right. And America did not take care, the proper care, man. You know, yes, we were sent here for captivity, but at the end of the day, man, America went too far. You look at a lot of these slave owners. Wait for this to go by. I know everybody's seen that picture. What's that guy? That dude that had all the bruises on his hands and face, Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell. It came out that his ancestors were straight up slave owners, man. They owned big plantations, and now, you know, since reincarnation is in the scriptures, it's been what, about 5-6 generations later. Now he's got to get his punishment, man, because he's really one of the ones that's holding back the stimulus.
Yeah, to add on what you said about treatment Israel and saying they went too far. Look at like Egypt captivity. You see Joseph was in the number 2 spot. You know, so it was Israelites that was in high positions. You look at Babylon, who had Daniel. You know, he was the president. So like Shadrach and Abednego, they was in high places. They was getting treated like they was in captivity, but they was getting treated, you know, like this.
Even Moses before he woke up.
Most shit. They damn near said Pharaoh liked Moses better than his son.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you look at who's in the high places today. These athletes in that, man. These superstar athletes.
That really ain't no power though. They can't go to
Right. They gotta use social media to try to change shit.
Yeah.
And they're not even allowed to tell their people that they're Israelites.
They can't share.
Right.
Mordecai was able to come and plead with the king and shit like that. Esther and Judith, like them fucking athletes can't go and get nothing done.
And the things that the athletes is doing, they leading you astray. Like LeBron James, he got some shit called More Than a Vote, and he encouraging niggas to vote. That's confusion.
Yeah. He's not allowed to. If LeBron James came out and said who the real children of Israel were, man, he'd be done. Just look at what they did to Deshaun Jackson and Nick Cannon, man.
That's a defeated mindset to telling your people to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Your oppressor.
Doing like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
They charge a bunch of bitches.
Yeah,
50 years later.
Yeah.
They don't give them no trial.
Yeah, no physical evidence or nothing.
And take everything he had.
All right. Thou didst shew them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Well, hey, before I get into that, didn't they also kill Bill Cosby's daughter like a couple weeks before he got sentenced or something like that? You know, that's crazy, man. Read that again, Bubba Kasha.
Upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laid thy yoke.
Heavily laid thy yoke, man. And that yoke is still here today. It may not be in a physical form, but it's in a mental and spiritual form, man. Here it is. This place pushes any kind of philosophy except for the truth. Okay, you're allowed to believe whatever the fuck you want here, except be an Israelite. Well, you're allowed to think you're an Israelite as long as you're under one of them government agencies like NFAC and that.
And thou says, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. And they didn't remember the latter end of it. They thought shit was gonna be sweet forever. They thought they was gonna be able to oppress the children of Israel and along with the rest of the other heathen nations forever. But that don't work like that, because they didn't consider the latter end. Like they didn't say, damn, I might want to chill and light up and try to get on their good side. No, they doing the complete opposite. They killing even more Israelites. They putting even more sanctions and tariffs on other countries. They don't really talk about this much, but they strangling economies of other world governments. You know, it's people that's hungry and out of work due to sanctions and tariffs from the United States of America.
Wait, even here, man, with these lockdowns, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something called a social contract.
Your government gave you a punk ass $1,200 one time, and after that they say, all right, nigga, good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Some other countries actually took care of the people that lived there, like
right.
Canada.
Yeah.
You know, Canada did their citizens good, man. They sitting pretty.
They was getting like 2,000 a week or a month, wasn't it?
Yeah. And in Britain, they have, I think they have unemployment. I think everybody's still on the extended unemployment, man, and they're giving out checks. Same thing with Australia, man. But this is the place, you know, supposed richest country in the world.
Yeah, the greatest place on the earth.
They could spend $1 trillion a year on the military.
But you gotta make $1,200 last 6 fucking months.
Yeah, you can't even go to work if you want to in some areas, man. And then if you are working, they could close that shit down at any time.
Anytime.
With no backdrop, man.
They could just come in and be like, hey, we gotta shut down. You SOL.
That violates what's called a social contract, which is a social contract or agreement between a government and its people to look out for them in an emergency, man. That's what the New Deal was all about during the Depression, man. That's when they created Social Security and unemployment, man, insurance, because they said, well, if this ever happens again, at least y'all will have some money to feed your family.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they're just saying, fuck that shit.
And these food banks about to go dry. You know, when that time of famine come, they gonna have the military giving out cups of soup, probably. And people think it's a game.
Or leave a box of food at your doorstep. Say, make it last. And they don't care about so-called religious freedoms, man. They'll probably have all kinds of pork and shit in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they don't care
Won't
about
even
none
put it
of
on
that.
the ingredients list.
Hell no, ain't gonna be no ingredients list. They gonna have a pot and just
Matrix food.
take it.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. Just like that. No options, no nothing.
They look at you like you're cattle. You know, they want to thin out the herd, man. See, that's what people don't understand. Things ain't gonna, like the brother Ariala and the brother Rakai Kwan, they did a World War III algorithm update recently, and they were getting into how them jobs they're not coming back.
No.
They're not coming back. It's only gonna get worse because automation is gonna increase, and the whole thing is that they don't need you people anymore to do these menial jobs, man. They don't need you anymore. You're just taking up unnecessary resources. So they're gonna try and starve a lot of you out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did to the people of Israel in 70 AD. You know, when they locked down, when they besieged the city, they locked down the city, and they just waited.
Yeah, 6 months.
And a lot of our people just starved, just starved. You know,
Yep.
they started eating the leaves off the trees.
Each other?
Yep. They eventually got so hungry, they started eating their leather belts, and then they started eating each other. You know, and that is coming back. You know,
Yeah.
that cannibalism.
Yeah, they didn't even have to go in there and do nothing. They just, like brother said, they just had to sit back and wait and let them do it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they go do it in their future.
And the people that were left, they were too weak to really do anything, you know?
Yeah, by then they like, fuck it, kill me. Shit, I'm starving. Motherfuckers is sick. Fucking the dead bodies laying out on the streets. You know, the smell of dead flesh in the air.
Yep. And I mean, when you go into the Apocrypha, Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, it says that no man shall be able to enter into another city. So no, you don't. So that's basically, you know, America besieging and locking down the cities. You know.
And it's not a coincidence on Netflix how they keep releasing new pandemic movies and new famine movies. I actually just watched a famine movie last night when the people was eating each other. And it's another series called To the Lake that a brother had mentioned. I forgot the brother name that I started watching.
Utopia was spot on to what's happening now.
Yeah, Utopia. You know?
If you brothers got Amazon Prime, check out Utopia. It's super good.
They show you shit through these series, through these movies, through these TV shows, because they know people about to be starving. They be showing real shit too. Women getting raped, people trying to eat each other, people hungry, people making cruel decisions with no emotion or nothing heartfelt just because they gotta survive and do what they gotta do. People leaving their families and their friends out in the cold. You know, it's shit about to get real, and it's really about to become a dog eat dog world, which is why the Lord said, "Gird up the loins of thy minds and prepare for perilous times." And when it's gird up the loins of thy mind, pretty much means prepare your mind for action, prepare your mind for troublesome, perilous, dangerous, critical times. Use your imagination. Do what you got to do, because men is feminine nowadays. You know,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And guess what? You don't want to be a feminine man in these days that's coming.
Yeah.
In other words, you got to be hardcore as shit.
That's why they call them Gen Z. You know, this is the last generation. All this putting
Look up that
estrogens,
scripture. The love of many shall wax cold.
That's perfect.
putting all them estrogens in the waters and in the bottles and all the food and all that, man. You know, with all the what do they call them? The social media generation.
Everywhere you go, you see bitch ass niggas.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate bitch ass niggas.
Emotional.
Excuse my French.
Emotional as fuck.
The cancel culture, you know, the Me Too movement, all that is designed to feminize and effeminate the men, man.
The one thing this truth will do is take the softness out of you, man.
They,
It'll draw that shit right out like a potato draws out sicknesses.
I heard that they're even trying to cancel South Park now because it's too offensive.
Everything fucking offensive now. Grown men can't even speak rough to each other no more.
Mm-hmm.
A man have his tail tucked in between his legs of another man yell or cuss at him. Stick your fucking chest out. It ain't that serious.
You can't even politely tell a woman the truth when she's acting up anymore, man.
Yeah.
You get put out there, you know, you get put out there. You say the wrong thing on social media, and you can't and you can't even find a damn job no more. People get fired from their jobs all the time.
Yeah, I got it. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse
Blacklisting, all kinds of shit.
verse 10. And then, Matthew chapter 24, verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
Ooh,
and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Right.
But the
People
end-
aren't going to care about, you know, when it's lawlessness, it's lawlessness. You know, when it's lawlessness, it's lawlessness, man. Lawlessness. People will act out of desperation and need for survival.
And if I could add, in the series, people was getting left behind. They'll say, "Hey, we gonna come back for you, man. We promise, we promise." But they get certain month up the road, they like, "Shit, we not going back for them.
Well,
They on their own."
You gotta look at like this, man. Like, you know, these people they go by this code of laws that are in Babylon, right? But when that code of laws breaks down, they don't have no moral compass, man.
Right.
Us men of the Lord, we have some kind of moral compass. We out.
And integrity.
Yeah, even when this shit breaks down, we still gotta follow the laws of the Lord.
And
You know, we can't just go eating pork because we're hungry.
Right. Right. And we can't go shitting on a brother because we fucked up. Because like brothers mentioned earlier, our conscience will eat away at us. Now I'm saying our conscience and our spirit will bear witness against us to the point where we won't be able to do shit like that, because that should have weigh on your spirit. That should have really weigh on your spirit and kill you.
Yeah, they cause you to bug out.
And cause you to bug out. In the one joint, the woman, her mother was outside the door crying and yelling and beating on the door, but she ain't let her mother in because she was sick. So she had to leave her mother out in the cold. People not ready for that. People not ready to make certain decisions, life or death decisions, without emotional attachment, because people's emotions is gonna get them killed in these coming days. Their emotions and their feelings will get them killed.
Verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
That's right. Ain't nobody fucking saved yet. These churches, I'm saved. Well, we gonna see how saved you is in these coming months. It's about to be the darkest winter in the U.S. history. All right, we about to face times that has never been before. And there's been some dark-ass moments in history, and even those darkest moments can't top what we about to go through. We about to go through it. We about to see things. We about to hear things. We about to experience things. That's why the script said, get your emotions intact, get your mind intact, and lean on the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, with all faith and all hope, and fear Him.
Oh, hey, enduring unto the end, man. A lot of these guys, they're not going to endure to the end.
No.
They're not going to endure to the end, especially those that aren't being readied for the mark of the beast. Okay? They're not being readied for it, man. So when it finally becomes mandatory, something in them is going to snap. You know? Something in them is going to snap. They're going to break.
I got 2 precepts. This is Sons of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. 2 Ezra 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Yep.
And this is Luke 12 and 32. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom.
Yep.
Yeah, man, and that's going back to what we were speaking about earlier, about how when these troops lock down the city, it's not gonna be no food. You know, I mean, well, it's gonna be a lot of starving going on. You know, when Esau mandatories this ship, you know. Papa Shah, could you read that first scripture again, brother?
2 Ezra 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
There'll be a lot of looting going on. I mean, you know, y'all think y'all seen loot? Y'all think y'all seen looting earlier this year? You know, wait till the times to come. You know, when he saw mandatory this chip and people start to really go hungry. You know.
Well, hey, a lot of those people are looting because the rule of law is being broken down. Pretty soon they're gonna have to loot to survive. It's a completely different circumstance, man. Like when people, like when there's a hurricane in the city and everything breaks down and people go hungry, they loot from each other.
Yeah,
you know?
I was just about to mention that. What you think gonna happen when ain't no stores to loot out of? They gonna start looting from each other. They running up in the next man's crib, killing him and his family. They're not gonna have no remorse for no children, for no women, for the elderly or nothing. They coming in and they taking it.
And they're gonna have to declare what? Martial law to get that shit under control. You know?
And them troops ain't gonna be nice.
No, they're gonna be all business, man. Go ahead, bro.
Fast forward. This is in the same book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. Fast forwarding down to the 19th verse. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
That's right, because you damn sure don't want to be a pregnant woman or have a pregnant woman with you in these times. That's gonna be a liability. You ain't gonna be able to run. You ain't gonna be able to run with a woman that's 9 months pregnant. You ain't gonna be able to hop fences and duck and dodge and fight off other people that's attacking you. Cause shit's about to get crazy. It's about to be a whole lot of fighting, a whole lot of shooting, a whole lot of stabbing, and a whole lot of violence going on. All right, and you don't want to have woe to those that give suck in those days, and you don't want to be on the run in the dead smack middle of winter because it's gonna be cold as fuck, and you won't last long out there.
And a lot of people these days, especially here in Babylon, they just don't have outdoor survival skills to be out there in the winter like that, man. That's a lost art, you know. That's another thing that Esau's done. He's separated us. He's not just effeminized us. He's separated us from nature. Mm-hmm. You know, because ancient men, they all used to know how to survive in the winter.
Yeah.
Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be.
Get real quick, get 2 Ezra 15 and 5.
You go ahead and break that down.
Second Ezra 15:5. Let me read this again. Verse 21, Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. You know, and that's plain to the point, man. You know, like you thought slavery was bad. You know, the scripture just said that there's gonna come a time where it's gonna be the worst time in the history of the world. You know, so you know, now is the time to repent. You know, for you so-called African Americans, so-called Native Americans, and so-called Hispanics, and you Israelite foreigners. I mean, you Israelites that are scattered throughout these other 17 nations across the earth.
Yeah. It's about to be a whole horror show out here.
We're about to read it. Read it. Let's read it.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Just keep reading down.
For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as to touching their wickedness, which they have profanely committed. Neither will I suffer them in those days in which they wickedly exercise themselves.
Right. All that wickedness is going to be turned upon everybody's head, man. You know, hey, you can't say you weren't warned, right?
Say, behold, the innocent and righteous blood cries unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
Oh, hey, it's a 2/3 bird right there, man. The pigeons, that's how a lot of these 2/3 be walking around, man, with their pants sagged. Head bobbing.
What about
Yeah. Oh, hey, the time is coming, man, when all these dudes out here with these dreadlocks and sagging pants and that, hey, man, that 2/3 club is going to get mowed down soon. Jacob's trouble, it's coming.
Hey,
It could happen on, the purge could happen on election night next week. Next week.
Yeah. I bet you them 2/3 pull their pants up in the near future. They gonna be running around with their pants sagging when all hell breaking loose.
You know, and just like the scripture said, the Lord is going to bring back all those plagues, which he already has started to do so. But you know, as this kingdom continues to stand, these kings are, I mean, these plagues are going to continue to get worse. You know, the famine. You know,
Sicknesses.
same of the word, the sicknesses, the lack of food, you know, and this is gonna have a snowball effect, causing a bunch of other chaos.
Well, hey, man, you know, you brothers that are, you know, since this truth is in the mainstream now, you know, a lot of you guys that are waking up, you know, consider it a blessing that you're getting called at this last minute, man.
Right.
Because this shit is right at our doorstep, man. So, you know, y'all need to take this seriously these last days, man. Take it very serious. All right. Well, what did they used to tell us back when we came to truth? Treat it like it's your woman for the next 6 months. You know.
And, I heard a brother from the Birmingham, Alabama church, Mysteries of the Kingdom.
Yeah, correct this out.
Yeah, he mentioned you might want to get acquainted with death. You know, get familiar with it. I mean, that's what acquainted mean. You know, get familiar with it. Open your mind up and necessarily get used to seeing violence. Get used to seeing death. Get used to seeing pain and suffering. Get used to seeing trials and tribulations. You know, because that's what's a part of girding up the loins of your mind.
Yeah, because this what's you know what's to come is gonna catch a lot of people off guard.
Yeah.
Man. You know, the scriptures say when they say peace and safety, so that destruction shall come upon them. So you know that's why you gotta like meditate upon these prophecies and these things to come now. So when it actually gets here, you don't bug out. You know?
Right. Yeah. And to say meditate upon terrors.
Yeah.
Think, meditate. Man, we got an imagination for a reason. We have an envision. We could visualize. We could see things. You know? So when we do finally see the real deal, we'll be one of those ones like, shit, I'm not surprised. But shit, we knew this was coming. We knew it was gonna be bodies littered all over the place.
But at the same time, you gotta remain grounded and stable, man. You can't flip out over the shit, man. You gotta learn how to accept it and also chill the fuck out. Mm-hmm. You know.
And in other words, you gotta
Go back to the scripts.
Go ahead.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and the punishment of Yahweh shall bring upon it.
Because everything that we saying is all in 2 Ezra 15. So the scriptures always break it down better than we can. All the death, everything that we saying is right in 2 Ezra 15 about everything that's coming. Because that's 2 Ezra 15 is basically the time that we enter into.
Led to the slaughter, right?
Go ahead, keep reading that.
They that till the ground shall mourn.
Yeah, earlier we was talking about farmers going out of business and shit. That's right there. You know, go ahead.
For their seed shall fail through the blasting and the hail and with fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for their sword and their destruction draweth nigh. For the sword their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people with swords in their hand.
You know, going back to that scripture right there, it says, "Woe to them." Could you read that again, Baba Kashab, brother?
Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
No, the previous one after that one.
For the sword and their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people with swords in their hands.
The sword draweth nigh. You know, we see this prophecy coming to pass. You know, when you look today, we see these Proud Boys,
Antifa.
Antifa. You know, I just recently watched a video about the Proud Boys saying if Biden wins, they're gonna come up against the Israelites, you know, which are on this sign right here, and you know, it's rumors saying that if Trump wins, you know, it's gonna be the same thing, vice versa. So that's a fulfillment of prophecy where it says
One people rise up against another with swords in their
one
hands.
people shall rise against another with swords in their hands.
Yeah, and the militias are already activated too. You got like 4 or 5 different parties involved there, man. You know?
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, they were threatening to kidnap the governor of
Michigan.
Of what food?
It was Michigan.
Of
There was
Michigan.
a couple governors, you know, that was tight.
It's also another subject. Continue reading, but there's more.
It say, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and there shall not regard their kings, nor the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Hey, and the scriptures say there shall be sedition amongst men and invading one another, you know. And there's a prime example I just mentioned earlier that they were planning to or threatening to kidnap the governor of Michigan. You know, that's also a fulfillment of prophecy, where it says there shall be sedition amongst men, you know, and invading one another. You know, they're a lot of these governors and these government officials are going to be targeted in the times to come. You know.
Yep. And it said they shall not regard their kings nor princes in the course of their actions, meaning they go be like, man, they don't give a fuck about no laws. They don't care about none of that. They go do what they got to do. They go steal. They go kill. I just seen they was doing a live news feed, and the dude straight up walked in the Walgreens in San Francisco, jumped behind the counter, and was stealing, and then walked right out the store with the news crew recording. That's not regarding the kings nor princes in the course of their actions. That's an example right there.
Hey, somebody just got caught sending a pipe bomb to CNN. I read that last night. You know.
Hey, and the brother behind the camera, you know, he always says this, like, you know, you regular cops, you know, when that time comes, man, you're gonna drop your badges and go protect your families, man, because it's gonna be that critical out here. It's gonna get that intense.
Yeah, they gonna be worth it.
Got more? We can read a few more verses, then we're gonna close it up.
It say, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Yup, men go be afraid, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. There's going to be checkpoints. There's going to be regions. There's going to be sectors. You know, you're not going to be able to go in and out of each state as you please. They already working on preventing certain states from traveling with amongst each other. You know, meaning at them toll booths, them toll lines, those exits, it's gonna be military vehicles and tanks.
And especially when they roll out that vaccine, that's going to be the thing, man. You don't take that vaccine, you're not going to be able to leave where you're at.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread
Those actually doves.
and great tribulation.
Spirit. So, like your brother, could you read that one more time, Baba Shah?
It say, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Right. It says for lack of bread and great tribulation. You know,
Yeah, so people are gonna be starving basically. You know, lack of bread, food lines running out. You know,
and that's going to be one of the main reasons why people invade each other's houses and just take whatever they can. You know.
and so with that, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom.